I don't want to waste your time, so there won't be an intro. This round of the EU Invitational Qualifiers between M&M and BDS flew under a lot of people's radars. But a round in which a T3 team baits a Pro League team into attacking the wrong Bombsite definitely deserves some more attention. Now, you might think that I'd be roasting BDS here for making such a rookie mistake, because that's really how it looks like from the outside. But I actually want to make a case for this kind of mistake being somewhat acceptable. Let's start with the setup that M&M used. Right off the bat, you know that something weird is going on here. Everyone runs straight down main stairs, and Ella runs all the way into dirt to reinforce the two walls. Castle reinforces motor hatch and later on kitchen hatch. Mute and Mozzie reinforce the outside walls on the top floor, and if we go back a second, you can see Castle barricading billiard to bar and bar to main door. So, if you watch my video on SSG's basement roam, link in the top right corner, this should seem very familiar to you. Instead of going for a default gym defense, M&M is trying to sell that they are playing an SSG style basement roam, and as you saw in the beginning, it's going to work out perfectly. Now that we've understood the defense setup, let's jump back to operator select and look at it from BDS perspective. In general, from this point on, I want to focus on how BDS is interpreting and using the information that they get during the round. In terms of site selection, this is the third round, and so far M&M has lost 2 cash defenses in a row, so it's only natural to assume that they're going to change the spot, and since they haven't played Armory, that would be the most likely option. And the operators that they are showing support that idea. Castle is technically associated more with Gym, but recently a lot of people have started playing wide roams, and for that everyone brings Castle. BDS also doesn't see any kind of wall denial, which would have been typical for Gym, and in general, Alibi, Ella and Mozzie seem slightly more suited to a church roam than a Gym hold. So it makes sense why BDS might have a wrong read on the situation based on operator reveal alone. But that shouldn't be an issue, right? They can just use their drones to make sure. Well, let's take a look at the prep phase again, but this time we focus on BDS drones. Look at where the drones are right now. Thatchers and Bucks are outside the building on the north side, and Sledge and Hibanas are outside on the south side. At no point during the prep phase has a drone entered the actual building. And the surprising thing is that this is the correct decision. It might sound contradictory, but the drone phase is not supposed to be used to drone the map. Why? Because information is only useful if you can act on it. Assume for a second that this setup is actually a church roam. What kind of information do you hope to gain by droning here? The single most important information a drone can give you is the position of a defender, but that is totally irrelevant during the prep phase. Maybe you want to find rotation holes and punch holes and stuff like that, but you're going to find these anyways when you're droning during the actual round. And to circle back to what's going to happen in this round, typically you can also easily spot which side the defenders picked just by seeing which outside walls are reinforced. And since BDS knows that dirt and at least one hatch are reinforced, there's just no reason to assume that it's anything other than church. So, as we can see, there's minimal upside to droning out the map during the prep phase. But there is an enormous downside, namely losing a drone that could have been used in the action phase. And clearing this roam is hard enough on its own, so you can't afford to give away a drone for free. Alright, so now we know why BDS still thinks it's a church roam even after operator reveal and prep phase. But that shouldn't be that big of a deal either, right? Surely they're going to notice once they are droning the top floor to clear the roamers. Well, that's the problem. Clearing this roam feels absolutely miserable for the attackers, and if you spot a chance to rush site, you really want to take that. But at the moment, it still looks like BDS is trying to clear a map. Buck opened office hatch, and Hibana has breached CC wall. But as you can see here, they are already droning blue, and that tells me that they really are looking for an opportunity to maybe avoid clearing the map. In the next few seconds, they are still set up to clear the roamers, but you can already kind of sense some hesitation. And from this point on, it doesn't really look like a roam clear anymore. And this drone from Thatcher settles it. It manages to get all the way into blue, and now they know that blue isn't contested at all. And at the same time, we can see Thermite and Buck in dirt, and presumably they are also droning it without spotting a defender. Something like this really feels like a jackpot for the attackers. Again, clearing this roam is just not a good time, and there are no better conditions for a side rush than seeing that blue and dirt are clear. And if you get that kind of information as an in-game leader, everyone calls for that rush, 100%. But now you might say, well, they already droned blue and dirt, why didn't they just drone the rest of the site? Because if they did, they most definitely would have noticed what was going on. The thing is, they can't afford to waste any more time. In a situation like this, droning the site is a dead giveaway that you're about to rush. And if you stall out even a tiny bit, you give the roamers enough time to drop down, and then you've wasted the opportunity. What you want to do here is to make it a war of attrition. You assume that there are at most 2 defenders on site, so you just throw 5 bodies at them and hope that you come out on top. And that's exactly what BDS is doing. Double pinch from dirt and blue, which is pretty much textbook play. And with that, M&M has successfully baited BDS into attacking the wrong bomb site. And while this seems like a huge blunder from the outside, I hope that I was able to convince you that BDS didn't really play it terribly. In fact, I'd even go as far as saying that they played it reasonably well. In the reveal phase, they saw a lineup that is most suited to a church roam. In the prep phase, they managed to keep all of their drones alive, while also noticing that dirt and both of the outside walls are reinforced. Again, more evidence for a church roam. Then, at the start of the action phase, they used their drones to see if there's a weakness in the defense, and after they managed to find one, namely dirt and blue not being contested, they don't hesitate at all and immediately go for a textbook side rush. See, if you look at it like that, they really didn't do anything wrong. Losing a round like this is just a possibility that you have to live with. Like, sure, you could sacrifice a drone to spot the actual bomb, but I can guarantee you that overall, losing an entire round once every 1,000 rounds is much better than losing one drone in every single round. That being said, losing a round like this is actually pretty funny, and M&M must have been dying of laughter after Ella died. Usually, I'd end the video here, but this round deserves to be shown in its entirety. So, 2 minutes gone and BDS is in no position to push Jim. They do manage to get Hot Tub open, but they don't have any time to drone, and at this point they just have to make plays. Termite dies pushing bathroom, and shortly after, Thatcher dies because obviously BDS can't afford to watch CC window. Now, props to them for actually being able to win gunfights here to make it competitive, but in the end, M&M gets a well-deserved win. I haven't really talked much about them in this video, but you gotta hand it to them. That was a really creative strat. And this is another thing I love about Rainbow. Like, where else can you pull off something as wacky as that? Thanks for watching.